course, I appreciate a Spider-Man reference. But this was Trump's response today to that particular part of Zoran's speech.
Okay.
But at one point he says, turn the volume up.
So hear me, President Trump, when I say this. To get to any of us, you will have to get through all of us.
How do you respond to that? Does that affect anything you're going to do?
It's a very dangerous statement for him to make, actually. And, you know, you talk about danger. I think it's a very dangerous statement for him to make. He has to be a little bit respectful of Washington, because if he's not, he doesn't have a chance of succeeding. And I want to make him succeed. I want to make the city succeed. I don't want to make him succeed. I want to make the city succeed.
Well, that means him now.
What happens.
Did you see reaching out to him?
I would say he should reach out to us, really. I think he should reach out. I'm here.
Of course.
We'll see what happens, but I would think that it would be more appropriate for him to reach out to us.
So at one point he says...
So
Dude,
that's...
Oh, my God. Yeah.
I mean,
of course that's Trump.
There's a whole bunch. But, yeah, that's my favorite.
I wonder if he's going to do anything. I mean, I don't think Trump's going to do anything for now.
I
feel like the machine,
National Guard and stuff.
I feel like Trump 2.0 is kind of on autopilot with Stephen Miller running the ICE raids with Kristi Noem, and then you've got RFK screwing up the FDA, and then you've got the Secretary of Defense. Well, now it's the Secretary of War because it's the Department of War now. That's screwing up defense stuff. So they got it going on. And then education is like what, Cindy McMahon, right? Or something.
Yeah. Linda McMahon, fucking
Linda McMahon, right.
Wife. But yeah, we got some more we got well, this was also just kind of funny to me is apparently Zoran did not receive a phone call from Andrew Cuomo or Eric Adams last night. He did get a congratulatory phone call from Curtis Silva, though.
Yeah, of course. I'm not surprised by that.
Yeah,
I'm not surprised.
He was a stand-up guy. He might be, racist,
So that was funny to remember Lumen. Remember Lumen talking about Silva? I was like, yeah, my boy Silva. Like that was, dude, when he was talking, the way he was talking about Silva was like, reminded me a lot of my old man, actually. Like my old man is an angry Long Island, like, half quarter Italian, quarter German, half Wasp kind of guy. And it's all Silva when he would talk was always just like the ethos was, hey, you feel like he's like, hey, you feel like beating the shit out of somebody? I feel like beating the shit out of somebody. Let's beat the shit out of somebody. Elect me and watch me beat the shit out of somebody for you. Like that's what his whole ethos was. It was just an angry white man with like, I'm not going to close down the prison. I want to renovate the prison. Like
my suggestion is if Zoran wants to reach across the aisle, put him in charge of hunting down animal abusers, because he seems to have a real soft spot for caring about animals and
give him something, dude. I'm down
to like that
because
after animal abusers.
If we are going to be arrogant enough to suggest that we know how to structure society better than other people, then we should be able to place people of value in positions of productivity. And that's one thing about like have you ever thought about that with our education system, how like you can do personality tests as early as like 5th grade, but meaningfully like after puberty, like sophomore, junior year in high school, you can do pretty robust personality tests and figure out like 3 to 5 career paths at that point in someone's life that they would like, hey, if you focus in and do these things over the next few years, you could have a great career in journalism or medical research or engineering or whatever. I don't know. It'd be kind of an interesting way to modernize our education system, and it would transcend like the garbage conversation that conservatives try to make about education, which is that it's either, you know, socialist or communist and or just a waste of money.
So is your dad the kind of guy who would agree with something like this from the GOP? Or something like this from the New York Post, that this is the signal of
it's actually funny. I saw him today. It's actually funny. I saw him today. He didn't hint at anything negative. He knows that, I think he knows that Zoran is my guy, and he like respects me. See, the frustrating part about, I think, for my brothers is that like they never had this kind of respect for my dad. Like my dad deep knows he's wrong. Like this is why our relationship is still alive, is because he knows he's wrong. I know he's wrong. I know he knows he's wrong. Everybody knows, but he just won't admit it because he's so goddamn competitive. He knows for healthcare, because like you can't argue with the guy. Like you can't argue. He doesn't argue with you when you say that medical bankruptcy isn't a thing in other developed Western civilizations. Yet it's the number one reason for personal bankruptcy here. Ergo, we need a better healthcare system. It's that simple. Like he's not like he'll even admit he does. He definitely doesn't think he's like, you know, super smart guy. He worked hard. Like the engineering guys, that's an earned intelligence. That's an earned intelligence. And the research stuff, that is earned intelligence. That is earned genius.
As opposed to just shoving your way to the front like Trump always does.
Or as opposed to being naturally gifted in the way like certain musicians are. Like who's the guy from Minnesota? Prince.
Oh, I was gonna say
the artist formerly known as Prince.
Eddie Van Halen also was a natural. My wife, big rock and punk fan, and she's like that he's like Mozart. Like
he played different instruments.
He was in the band Van Halen.
he played different instruments, right?
Yeah. And like
because that's what
Roger Gilmore from Pink Floyd also is like just naturally talented.
But you have to play more than one, because according to Jimmy Page of Led Zeppelin, when he was called a genius by others, he's like, no. That belongs usually to like composers of symphonies and stuff like that. Because if you're just playing one instrument, you can't really be a genius. You can be a virtuoso, you can be the best, but you can't really be a genius unless in the context of music, if you're not playing more than one instrument.
That's, you know, what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, some more freakouts here. And this is just a little, we're going to take a little victory tour ourselves. And this is Andrew Cuomo's concession speech. The most interesting part of this to me is here where he brings up the name Zoran Mamdani.
On the field.
We left it all on the field. We did the best we could.
Sports rhetoric, yeah.
Congratulations to Zoran Mamdani. No. That is not right. That is not right, and that is not us. That is not us. Tonight was their night.
I like that one person clapped when he said, "This is not us."
Well, at least he's trying. Like, wait, can we go back? Can we watch? I want to see. Can we see? I want to see the rest of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to see if he actually has some class. See if he's got it out, because he used to have some class. He used to.
And as they start to transition to government, we will all help any way we can, because we need our New York City government to work. We want it to work for all New Yorkers, because our city is the greatest city in the world, and we will unite for New York City because we love New York City.
He had to bring it back to New York.
Yeah, I mean, at least he tried to quiet him down when they were getting, borderline.
Yeah, he
riots.
wanted his.
I mean, that
John
sounded like the
McCain.
mob, dude. Did you hear the mob there? I mean, that was like they wanted to beat some ass.
Yeah,
they
were
pissed. There's some angry New Yorkers there, man.
But this is like that John McCain moment at the town hall.
Yes,
when the woman stood up and was like, "We can't elect
he's
Obama.
An Arab.
He's a Muslim.
Yeah,
he's a foreigner," and he's like, "No. He's an American. He's a Christian. He's someone I happen to disagree with." And then the whole crowd went wild.
Right.
It's not like that anymore.
No, it's never going to be
that's
like that
that's a perfect.
Another thing. It's actually really timely that I saw my old man today because he and I both agreed like the politics of civility are gone, and they're never coming back. Not in our lifetime. Not for 40 years. It's going to take 40 years to recover from this. I think it's a 1-to-4 ratio. So maybe more than 40 years.
We also got Curtis Sliwa's concession.
Why did he wear the beret? Come on, man.
He always has it. That
looks like such a cheesy bastard with the I'm
He's
a
like
guardian
a Ninja
angel.
Turtles bad guy.
Let me warn.
There he is, beating the shit out of somebody.
Let's
beat the shit out of somebody.
If you try to implement socialism, if you try to render our police weak and impotent, if you forsake the people,
I'm gonna beat the shit out of you, and I'm gonna beat the shit out of your kids.
We're not only organizing, but we are mobilizing, and we will become the mayor-elect and his supporters' worst enemies, worst nightmare.
Oh, Jesus.
He's gonna become the Joker, folks. This is his origin story.
Still, dude. Wait, what? Didn't he only get like 6% of the vote?
Yeah, like 7,
6 points, like 6.7 or something like that, right?
And importantly, it wasn't enough that if every single person went and voted for Cuomo, he still would have lost.
Yeah, right. But that's hilarious. How do you like? I guess you got to give the guy credit for getting as much media as he gets for being a psycho, a New York psycho Republican.
Yeah.
Like they're out there, dude. They exist. It's like the New England psycho Republican. They exist, man. And they're scared. They're a different breed. Because normally you think of like Trump trash conservatives as like what I describe on my essays, Confederate flag waving, Bible beating, gun nuts, right? But that's not the way MAGA comes packaged.
No, they live here.
Northeast.
This is the only Staten Island is the only one. I mean, that they all live right there with Pete Davidson and Colin Jost and all the trash.
Pete Davidson?
Yeah.
And Colin Jost. Why? How do you know that?
Because they talk about it on SNL.
That they live on Staten Island?
They're from Staten Island.
Oh, they're from there.
They're both from Staten Island. I think Davidson still lives there. I would imagine that Scarlett Johansson doesn't live in Staten Island.
Yeah.
So I don't know where they live, but
I love the way New Yorkers talk about Staten Island. Oh my God. It's like some fucking ass crack that like nobody wants to be.
Like what's over there? Really?
They got nothing over at Staten Island.
You know what? Unfortunately, what they do have is the cops and the firefighters. Like that's who lives there. But I wanted to play this clip from our mayor-elect. The first video he released this morning. I haven't watched it yet. I want to first react on this space with you.
Oh, okay, sweet.
Good morning, New York City. Thank you. Last night we made history, and today we begin the work of making a new administration. Welcome to the transition. This is the period over the next few months where we build a city hall that delivers on the promises of our campaign, to make New York City affordable and to make government accountable to the people it serves. As we prepare to govern, we'll start announcing the leaders who will help implement our agenda. People like deputy mayors who oversee entire areas of government, and the commissioners who carry out the critical work of city agencies. These appointments will be driven by excellence, integrity, and hunger to solve old problems with new solutions. Talking to organizers on the front lines of the fight to improve our city, government veterans with proven track records, policy experts from around the country and the world, and working people who know better than anyone what our neighborhoods deserve. And this will be a period, like the campaign we ran and the city hall to come, defined by transparency. Because New Yorkers deserve a government they can trust. On January 1st, I will be your mayor. New Year's Day and a new era for this city. Oh, and one more thing. Remember how I told you a few months ago to stop sending us money? You can start again. This transition requires staff, research, and an infrastructure that can meet this moment. And it will be made possible by the people who built and believe in this movement. So I hope you'll make a donation at transition2025.com. Now let's get to work.
Awesome.
Yeah, good stuff. He just needs to stick to his guns, stay focused for the next 2 years. And,
yeah, I mean, they've done the organizers and the activists in this city have done such a great job keeping their eyes on the ball, because last time, the first election I voted in was the mayor's election for Eric Adams. I didn't vote for Eric Adams. I voted for what was it? Garcia, Maya Wiley, either one of them. I can't remember, and that was the problem, is people didn't really understand ranked choice voting, and the leftists weren't behind one candidate, and there was no idea of like, oh, let's all like cross endorse each other and stuff. So they didn't stop. They didn't stop for the last 4 years. They've been, okay, how do we get people to understand ranked choice voting? How do we get people, candidates to understand like, hey, we can cross endorse, and like, so long as our platform, like we can put it, make deals, put each other in the administration here and there and whatnot. Politics. And then this time, he went from 1% when he announced to winning in a year. And it's all thanks to the organizers out there on the ground.
And let's not forget the Democratic Socialists of America, who are a big part of his infrastructure, and
Absolutely.
a Sheikh Sadiq of DSA, or one of the co-chairs, has been highly involved in the campaign. And if you're not a member of your local DSA chapter, please check them out, because that's going to be the spearhead for the anti-MAGA movement, in my opinion.
Yeah. And speaking of anti-MAGA, Zoran addresses a question about ICE and like the very real threats, because you can imagine maybe they're like gearing up, hey, we should like send them in now, fuck shit up now. And this was his response. I haven't watched this one yet either, but also I love that he has Lena Khan in the administration. Don't let her get out of the spotlight. She is one of the only good things from the Biden administration, and that was probably Bernie's doing. So keep her in the media's vocabulary.
What is your message to
My message to ICE agents and to everyone across this city is that everyone will be held to the same standard of the law. If you violate the law, you must be held accountable. And there is sadly a sense that is growing across this country that certain people are allowed to violate that law, whether they be the president or whether they be the agents themselves. And what New Yorkers are looking for is an era of consistency, an era of clarity, an era of conviction. And that is what we will deliver to them. And I am looking forward to having conversations with Mayor Adams and his administration about the work of the transition to ensure that the handover is a seamless one, and that it is one that benefits the shared work we all have to deliver for the people who call the city home.
You think Adams is going to try and fuck up the transition?
Yeah, probably. Probably Adams is going to do the lowest common denominator. I mean, although he's afraid of getting in trouble too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that he's already taken a step. Saying, hey, in the vein of Pritzker, if you break the law, it doesn't matter who you are. ICE agent.
Yeah, but the problem is when the ICE agents are wearing masks, you can't hold them accountable because you can't.
But maybe he'll put in some ordinances about not wearing masks. ICE agents can't wear masks. But back to some GOP freakout.
Yes,
and some cope. This is the official narrative that they're going with, is that they were all blue states. Who cares?
Yeah.
When the speaker mentioned that, is it any surprise that last night blue states voted blue? We're talking Virginia, New Jersey, New York. By the way, none of those were swing states. You had 7 swing states in the election a year ago today. And by the way, we celebrate that a year ago today, Donald Trump was elected president of the United States. And when he ran on very specific things, not socialism. 7 out of 7 swing states rejected that form of socialism that has now taken over the Democrat Party.
Like, but this is the problem. They've been screaming socialism since the 50s. And
no, they're screaming communism
and younger.
They were screaming communism.
Sure, but people our age and younger just don't.
They were
care
conflating.
anymore.
They intentionally conflated socialism and communism, with communism being the predominant pejorative of the 1950s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, 90s. The aughts was when democratic socialism really found traction in Northern Europe, and other Western democracies were made aware of, by Americans, were made aware of how these other societies were kind of functioning better. And so that's when socialism kind of became the DSA has been around since 1982, right?
Right.
So that's kind of the real modern. That's another thing that's attractive about the DSA, is that it is actually pretty new. 1982 isn't that old, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of a statement as to it's modern day social. And the best way to defeat that, I got into it recently with someone about socialism and communism and the difference between the two. And he didn't know what the hell he was talking about. I found out he, is an undereducated guy. And, nobody on the right knows the difference. Nobody on the right knows the difference. They don't want to know the difference. It's willful ignorance.
Yeah, they don't care. Whatever scary word they can say, that's all that matters.
The boogeyman politics.
That's as much. Lena Khan was the head of the Federal Trade Commission under Biden and did a lot of good antitrust work.
Which I think has been undone by Trump since, right?
Immediately.
Yes.
But I like, again, Mamdani's kind of, I would hope that they're thinking, we're going to have not only the Democratic establishment is against us also, we're going to have the Republicans totally against us and gunning for us. We got to get shit done as fast as possible, which is kind of Trump's move here. Really, Steve Miller, Project 2025, all this. But this is Mike Johnson's reaction to last night as well.
There's no surprises. What happened last night was blue states and blue cities voted blue. We all saw that coming. And no one should read too much into last night's election results.
We also won in Georgia. There was propositions in Georgia, California, the
California Prop 50, yeah,
Maine, all over the place. And Virginia is also not a solid blue state.
Off-year elections are not indicative of what's to come. That's what history teaches us. By the way, it's worthy of note that Zoran Mandami himself only received a little over 1 million votes, 1,036,000 votes. There are 8.3 million residents in New York City. 8.5 million actually is the number, I think. So about 12% of the city voted to turn their city over to the communists. We'll see how that works out. The lesson.
Now, that's an indictment on you, Mike. How come you couldn't get?
So what I think Mamdani could get creative. Like if I was consulting for him, I'd be like, hey, don't worry. We're not canceling any Yankee games. All the Giants games are going to be taken care of. The Jets, go Jets, even though they play in Jersey. In fact, let's talk about transportation, because my understanding is transportation on game day to Jersey for a Jets or Giants game sucks ass from what I heard. So let's solve that problem. As long as Mamdani stays on solving problems and solutions, I think he's good. And just stays above it a little bit. He's talking tough with Trump, man. I don't know what Trump's going to do. You keep pissing him off, Trump's going to do something, right?
I mean, again, it's probably sending he's not going to do anything they wouldn't do anyway. It's that abusive family behavior that you're talking about, about the abusive father is going to be abusive.
Yeah, but
it doesn't matter
how?
But
specifically, but is he going to Is he going to beat the kid with his belt? Is he going to smack him with his back of his hand? Is he going to push him down the stairs? What form? Trump could try to deport Mamdani, and he could try to send in the ICE agents like you're talking about.
Visora, who I'm probably going to be on her show tomorrow on this space, she was saying last night, like, they're going to gun for him, like, for real, like, send, I don't know, assassins or whatever. And I've been saying that since the primary. I've been like, dude, he better have good security.
Right.
You know, protect this man at all costs. But more groveling, there's some groveling going on. Bill Ackman, the billionaire, pro-Israel, pro-Zionist, pro-genocide dude, who's been trying to get Curtis to drop out and Andrew to win, says, congratulations to Zoran on the win. Now you have a big responsibility. If I can help NYC, just let me know what I can do. The entitlement of, I am an important figure. You want to sit me down at a table and talk to me and figure out how I can be a part of this administration. Like, who the fuck are you? You're some random fucking guy. I've never heard of him. He's just a donor. He's just a big donor.
Yeah, he's been around for a while. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that he's doing this. I mean, that he's making that play. Someone was bound to, you know.
But this is also a thing that's been happening over the last, you know, since Twitter, really. People who are usually behind the scenes or not that focused on have chances to be celebrities now, and they want to be. They want to be known. Elon is a good example. You could have just stayed quiet and just had your car companies and do shit,
privacy,
and whatever. Make very few statements. They have as much access to the media as they want. Right. They can just stay quiet. There's billionaires we don't know about, and those are the ones who are scary. Right. But these guys want to be famous. They want attention. They want this kind of like, oh, I get invited to the Oscars. I get, you know, swanky party invites and shit. And, you know, there's no better example of that than Deborah Messing, who is just crashing out on Instagram from Will and Grace fame.
Yes.
DMFI, the Democratic Majority for Israel, says, congratulations to the mainstream pro-Israel candidates who prevailed. And this is kind of not just DFMI. This is what the Chuck Schumer has been saying, Cory Booker, just congratulating Abigail Spanberger and Mickey Sherrill in New Jersey and Spanberger in Virginia, and kind of ignoring
Mamdani. Of course.
But they say
get it to Mamdani.
You know, congratulations. That's in the first paragraph. Prop 50 in California. At the same time, while we congratulate Mayor-elect Zoran Mamdani, he gets a whole paragraph. We urge him to prioritize fulfilling his campaign promises to bring down costs, not foreign policy issues that are unrelated to the everyday lives of most New Yorkers. As he prepares to take office, we expect him to uphold his commitments to New York's Jewish community, including increasing funding for hate crime prevention and working not only to protect Jewish New Yorkers, but to celebrate and cherish them. What does that mean? Oh, we urge him to forcefully condemn violent rhetoric or action. All right. So
he already has. And he got like a huge percentage of the Jewish vote, didn't he?
Yes, he did. In the black vote, which is both of me. So that's awesome. But and if they finish with, it's worth remembering the New York City electorate is not reflective of the rest of the nation, as understood by the mainstream records of governors like Spanberger and Sherrill. That last part is the Democratic line of what they're going with. The establishment.
Of course, yeah.
But that part is
it's going to be dude, it's good, yeah.
Hate prevention and cherish Jewish New Yorkers.
Yes,
I think that's like give more money to the cops and crack down on like campus protests and stuff, and don't say anything about like what your stance is on Palestine or Israel, or threaten Bibi with arrest, which I think he should.
I think it's look, the pro-Israel lobby is very consistent, and try as they might to be implicit with their entitlement and their expectation that their people are going to be treated as more valuable than other citizens. They're not implicit. They're not subtle. It's explicit. It's very obvious, and people see through it, and people see through the bullshit now. Even the Jews themselves. You know, by the way, have you ever thought about your demographic, the half blacks, half Jews, and how that's like such an enormous part of the voting electorate that it like fucked up all the numbers because they double counted so many people.
But speaking of Jews, we got a big anti-Semite over here, Mr. Matt Walsh. And what is he talking about? What is the fringe? Is the mainstream of the Republican Party?
The spine. Yeah.
The spine, the tent pole. What are they focused on? They're focused on Jay Jones down in Virginia, who I think is lieutenant governor. I don't know. But he had like some like text message leak that he was joking about like Republicans' family getting killed, which, you know, not good, but it didn't hurt him and he won the election. But he's talking about he's replying to some other asshole, I think, calling for a civil war with the whole Democrat Party as opposed to specifically asking Trump to target Antifa networks is a big mistake. And Matt Walsh says, what the hell are you talking about? I didn't call for a civil war with anyone. Tim Pool does all the time. The Democrat Party is waging war on us. They just elected a guy who fantasizes about watching our children die. I do not want Trump to target Antifa networks and have said that many times. But there is basically no ideological difference between Antifa and the mainstream Democrat Party at this point. If you can't see that, you're just helpless. I don't know what to tell you. And
there's no difference between Antifa and the mainstream Democratic Party at this point. That's ridiculous. God,
and like
their prerogative is to mischaracterize the left. I mean, that is their bread and butter, is to just make the left look like the extreme ones. You know, denial and projection. If you do therapy at all, you learn a lot about people's habits of denying an uncomfortable, inconvenient truth and then projecting it onto those that accuse them of being that way. You know, you're not angry. I'm not angry. You're angry.
Yeah.
I'm not angry. You're angry.
Now, this just popped up. I was just clicking around and appears that Vivek Ramaswamy is on Laura Ingram's show tonight. Probably because he's the one Indian that they know to invite on, aside from Kash Patel. But, you know, they bring him on for FBI stuff.
Yeah, but Kash Patel's retarded.
I mean,
Kash Patel. Cool. Sorry. Yeah.
But
he is an idiot, though.
Yeah, he is an idiot. But we have Laura Ingram and Vivek's take on Mamdani to save America from communism.
We understood from the pre-election surveys that the majority of Zohran Mamdani's support, at least in one survey taken before the election, he had the support of 62% of the foreign-born vote in New York City. Does that surprise you, Vivek?
Well, I mean, the thing that surprises me is a lot of the people who come, whether they're Latino background, you think about people from even Muslim to Jewish to Hindu backgrounds, should, in theory, according to their own religious values and otherwise, be conservatives. Family-oriented, entrepreneurial. That's what we should want. And I think we need a system that selects for the kind of people who share those American values, who want to pursue that American dream. And then for us to be the party that makes it real, to say that if you work hard, you play by the rules, and you assimilate into American life, absolutely. Yeah. So I want to double down on that. He expanded the coalition. We want to continue to expand it.
Like, he's got the same problem that Sagar and Jetty has, the same problem that Candace Owens has. Like, they're never going to fully accept you, man.
Oh,
it's white
they're
supremacy.
Clueless.
It's white supremacy.
No, it's the token. It's tokenism at its finest.
Yeah.
It's tokenism at its finest. It's like, hey, we're not racist against these people because, look, one of them is ours.
Yeah.
It's that simple. It's the only reason why he's on the show.
They're just
and then,
building up.
Did you notice, by the way, the, like, checklist of what you have to be in order to be, like, to fit into what they think America is supposed to be? I mean, they call it the American experiment because you're not supposed to know what it's going to become. It's going to become something good if it's managed well over time. And it's going to be a cool little mixture. I hate melting pot. It's not a melting pot. It's like say it's a cocktail. Or, it's oatmeal with fucking, different ingredients.
It's a gumbo.
Yeah, it's a gumbo. There you go. It's a gumbo, like something with a lot of stew. I don't know, but not a melting pot. No, different flavors.
Yeah.
All in the same bite.
Working together to create something new.
Not like, because the melting pot implies everything just melts down and becomes the same thing. And that's just not true. That's just not, I've always hated and been uncomfortable with that metaphor. Haven't you?
I feel you on it.
Hasn't it always felt like a little off?
Yeah, they want it to be homogenous. That's what they say. Right. When people point to countries that have a lot of socialist policies, like Denmark and Norway and whatnot, in the Netherlands, they'll go, "Oh, that's because they're homogenous. They're all one people.
Oh,
There's not that many immigrants, so they feel comfortable, working with each other and blah blah blah." It's because they care about whoever lives there. It's foreign people get assistance and shit in those countries. Like, it's not there. And this argument, by the way, of like, oh, it's the foreign born, they're gearing up for more deportation. They think they can just deport everyone who votes Democrat out of this country or put you in jail. Like, that's it. And gerrymander all the districts out of the way. I mean, we have a big Supreme Court case coming up about the Voting Rights Act. They're trying to gut it. They're trying to be like, we're going to rig it so hard that you can't ever win.
Don't hesitate to be too graphic about this. Republicans are rapists of democracy. Done. That's how they will go down in history, as rapists of progressing society through effective government. Instead, they'd rather rape and pillage the economy and give it to the 1%ers and maybe the top 10%ers. I mean, even if it's 10%, it's still like 1 out of 10 gets over 90% of the wealth. I mean, give me a break.
And we got news today that, the fight against this is coming from these smaller candidates, these smaller races. Now, mayor of New York, not that small race, but still the mayor of one city. It's the opposition's coming from bottom up this time. And, Bernie and AOC going around doing the oligarchy tour and whatnot. We can find some clips of them too. But right now, the government is shut down. And Democrats, Chuck Schumer at least, is already starting to maybe whisper about coming to a compromise and just basically handing it to the Republicans. But I got a text from a friend of mine who actually was on this stream before, Twitch streamer, and he's down in rural Alabama, and it's fucking hard now that SNAP is done,
and shutting down hospitals and shit.
He's thinking about pawning shit to make ends meet just to get to the next week, and also, we got the Secretary of Transportation talking about shutting down parts of airspace because they don't have enough air traffic controllers. And then this happens.
We must also remember the challenges that our families are facing due to a lack of SNAP benefits brought on by the Trump administration. This is a program that was under attack early by the president following the big, ugly bill. That's why in June, I wrote a letter to Kentucky's congressional delegation urging them to consider the harmful impacts of this legislation and how it would hit our people, because SNAP is crucial for Kentucky. In our Commonwealth, over 600,000 Kentuckians rely on SNAP. That's 1 of 8 of our people, many of which are kids.
I mean, good on Andy Bashir for realizing, hey, this is a national moment for me to talk about this, because I'm going to be on all the news stations. And shout out, as Ari Drennan says here, Fox News airing a clip attacking Republicans for withholding SNAP during the shutdown. We're reaching critical levels of so over. They can't ignore their own constituents going hungry. It's not going to work.
No, dude, I love Bashir. I think that Bashir is proof that there is value in generational political power, that legacy can motivate certain people who are in positions of privilege that can maybe run for office a little bit more easily than others. And they can be viable candidates. And Bashir is obviously a product of political privilege, but he's got the skills, man. He's a Jamie Lannister type, man. He's had all the best teachers. He's had all the best coaching. and he's, you know, he had a good set of genes for the craft to begin with.
Yeah, I mean, let's see.
These families need this support to avoid going hungry. But on October 1st, the federal shutdown began, and this now, today, marks the longest shutdown in the history of our country. From the start of the shutdown, the president made it clear that this program would be at risk. In fact, the Trump administration stopped the federal government from paying out SNAP benefits for November and also stopped states from flowing state funds through SNAP to pay out those benefits. And that's despite the USDA's website saying that he could fund SNAP benefits even in a shutdown. Americans should never be a negotiating tool. And I am committed.
This is genius because he knows this is on. I mean, everyone in Kentucky's watching this, but he knows it's national. So he's like, hey, and let me lay out exactly so people understand. This money was set aside, so even during a shutdown, and he's stopping it against court orders.
Right.
Telling people, make a noise about this. Make noise about this. And I think he could be, this could be the day that Andy Bashir became president.
Now our guy started his road to the presidency.
But
he's young enough. I like his age a lot.
Yeah. Let's enjoy some more jubilation from another possibility of presidential candidate. AOC herself at Zoran's victory party.
Well, I think it speaks to the absolutely heroic effort that not just Zoran Mamdani put together, but so many people who participated and were brought together by his campaign.
DSA get a shout out here.
Tasked with defeating a Republican. They were also tasked with defeating the old guard of the Democratic Party that essentially led us to many of the perils of this moment. So he had a two-front war to win, which is what makes his victory so deeply impressive. And I do think that this moment, a lot of people who are willing to talk about party unity when it serves them, but not party unity when it serves everybody,
right?
It puts those folks on notice. And I think it also puts folks on notice that we have a future to plan for. We have a future to fight for. And we're either going to do that together or you're going to be left behind. And I think that,
Yeah, I think she's right. I mean, like we were saying before, all those people who worked on the Maya Wiley campaign and in DSA in New York, all the organizers, Sunshine, Working Families Party, huge Working Families Party.
But notice she didn't give any credit to the.
I mean, there's other clips. I'm sure she was interviewed several times.
I think she might have gotten censured by DSA for the Israel vote.
But it's the heat of the moment. You're talking about the most important things she wants to get across.
I know. I just want to see DSA get some shout out for this on a national level.
But Mehdi Hassan, who's doing great, was a tale. I'm loving.
Yeah, me too.
Doing. He was streaming last night, and this is just like a little highlight reel.
Jamal Bowman.
Jamal Bowman was having a fucking ball, boy. I love what he's doing, helping organize and stuff.
Man, I'm anxious. I'm nervous.
And that's what I mean. It's another example of someone, he lost his election, but he didn't stop fighting.
Still, ton of value.
He didn't stop fighting.
Ton of
Lindsey
value.
Boylan, another one.
Very valuable. No, these are experts. These are experts in their fields.
I want everyone to call it, not just one.
CNN have called it also.
Okay.
And NBC have called it.
Let's freaking go, baby!
Guys, they're going to have to learn his fucking name now. M-A-M-D-A-N-I. Zoran Kwame Mamdani. That's the name of the next mayor of New York City.
I feel electric. I feel amazing. I feel like being uncompromising in your values turns out very effective. It's something that I have spoken to every fucking Democrat about. Can I curse on something?
Please, you want to hear something cool? We're right behind the Fox News team. I don't know how they feel. She is one of the best directors. She made one of my favorite movies, Monsoon Wedding. She also happens to be the mother of perhaps the next mayor of New York.
I am the producer of the candidates.
You can say whatever the fuck you want.
I am so fucking excited we need this.
He's going to be on MSNBC. Is going to get her soon.
Yeah,
I think MSNBC is going to get I'll make an offer to Jen for
like a full show
for
Hopefully,
maybe. I mean, if they're smart,
but they're scared. They're scared, and whoever owns like Comcast, I'm sure, is like in bag for Trump anyway.
Danny on Zateo with Cynthia Nixon.
He's amazingly intelligent. I think he's amazingly hardworking. He listens, which is something that people who are meeting him from the first time often point out.
Young, Muslim, South Asian, Indian, pro-Palestinian. We shook up the world!
You were one of the earliest people to endorse Zoran Mamdani.
I saw what absolutely has to be the future of the Democratic Party, giving people something to vote for, not something to vote against.
I illegally voted for Zoran Mamdani 65 times. Get at me. Get at me.
Oh my God, now we're gonna cause some real trouble. Did he vote 65 times? Khalil is here.
Oh, shit.
5 times. In order to make Jewish New Yorkers feel safe, what Cuomo and Trump have told us is that Muslim New Yorkers must feel unsafe.
They weren't looking to make Jewish New Yorkers feel safe. They were looking to make Jewish New Yorkers feel scared.
Yes.
This is about a sleeping giant that has finally awakened. This is about individuals, obviously, who wanted to believe in a candidate, and that candidate is Zoran Mamdani.
If Hashmi wins and Mamdani wins, I suspect Matt Walsh will be crying like a little child in the corner of the Daily Wire newsroom as Muslims take over America. Trump is not a Muslim, by the way. I know he's brown, but
ally. The tactics that Zoran used here, Democrats across the country should be using. Asking voters, what can I do for you?
This Hog's
going to
run for something.
just this scene right now is killing people around America.
Smoking on the Bill Ackman track tonight. Smoking on the Bill Crackman.
Tonight is not just a defeat for Andrew Cuomo and Curtis Sliwa. It's a defeat for Bill Ackman. It's a defeat for Reed Hastings. It's a defeat for Michael Bloomberg. It's a defeat for James Murdoch. It's a defeat for the Home Depot guy. It's a defeat for the Walmart woman. It's a defeat for Airbnb. It's a defeat for DoorDash. It's a defeat for all the billionaires who put all that money down, and the 34-year-old socialist beat them all.
I mean, hell yeah. That's the way. That's a great button. That's a great button. Oh my God. I mean, like,
yeah, it's a pretty big deal. Oh, nice.
It's huge. It's huge.
What up, Stat Pat, my co-host of Left Coast Live, which is on a hiatus. Stat Pat is dipping his toe in politics for the time being, but we put the ice on that show for a minute because we both needed a break from the kind of shit that we were talking about and people weren't really listening to. Like, this is the stuff that people actually watch, is the stuff that you do, is like the reaction to like the because the content, because you're like a sorter. Like, you pick out the stuff that people should watch. They don't have to research it on their own. They just watch you. Yeah. Well, I mean, nobody can consume. But yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't have that kind of time. Like, your time. I mean, you're all ahead of it. Yeah. You're on Twitter. You're smoking on Twitter. I could never do Twitter. That was my problem. That was my weakness. My weakness. I could never get into Twitter.
I don't know. It works with my ADD brain. But we got like, it was so electric. I mean, look at Brad Lander. Just how can you not just be so happy for this man? The good fucking written shirt. Like, what a fucking, this is how you be an ally, folks. This is how you be an ally. You don't have to talk about it. You don't have to like make it known. You just stand up for your buddy. That's all.
Show up.
Stand up for your buddy. You show the fuck up. You defend him from attacks.
No, it's like, it's funny you say that. It's funny you say there's a similar situation I'm in where I won't get into details, but multiple parties are competing for something at an event that I really want to go to. And just show up and support this one team that I haven't really been that involved with for a while, but I just want to show up and be supportive. And you don't need to say anything, just be there. That's a good point. Like, if you're ready to kind of like open your mind to democratic socialism, then you should be ready to put your listening cap on. Being a good example, Brad Lander. Good example. I'm going to Google him.
I mean, even in, so pundits, politicians, this is by the Lever News, David Sirota's outfit.
Okay.
Pundits, politicians, and oligarchs shaken by his victory will no doubt soothe themselves by pointing to conservative Democratic candidates' victories in New Jersey and Virginia as alleged proof that nothing is fundamentally changing inside the party. As we have seen, as we have discussed. But even those milquetoast candidates felt compelled to channel Mamdani-esque economic populism during the final weeks of the election when they feared a loss was on the horizon.
Yeah.
If we go look, where is it? Spamberger's speech. She very much talked about affordability.
Yeah.
Rising inflation. And
yeah, it's just their solutions suck. The problems, everyone is talking about the same shit. It's just the solutions are very different.
But she was hearkening. She was riding that coattail across the Hudson River. That's what was happening.
Yeah, the New Jersey. Yeah, exactly.
She had to because it was getting close, and Citarelli was like right there at her neck. And then that's Mikey Sherrill in Jersey. Spamberger down in Virginia also, like, I don't know, this Jay Jones guy, that she was on the same ticket as the guy who tweeted out about like Republican families dying or whatever. And she distanced herself a little bit. And Jeff was talking about this last night from Good Morning Comrade, that I was worried that maybe she wasn't gonna eke it out a victory because of this scandal, and she wasn't. She was kind of distancing herself instead of just being like, "Fuck that, who cares? I ride with my boy, let's go." But she did, and I think again in her speech as well, there was a lot of I heard Zoran talk about that. I heard AOC talk about that.
Dude, the political winds are in our favor. Have you ever been sailing?
No.
Okay. Well, there's a point of sail where the angle on the boat is most favorable, and it's called a broad reach.
Mm-hmm.
And we are in a broad reach right now politically. Or we are in a reach right now, which is the second best position. And we'll be in a broad reach with over time, I think, as the year progresses. But you got something else you want to finish? You want to finish with the Bernie go here?
Yeah, I mean the grandfather of it all, this whole movement. Just a little words from old Uncle Bernie.
I wanted to say a few words about the elections last night and what they mean for the future of our country. Most importantly, I want to congratulate Zoran Mamdani for his extraordinary victory in the New York City mayor's race. As some of you may know or may not know, Zoran started his campaign for mayor.
But Fascism Watch, I don't think they should build a new party. They take over the Democratic Party.
Mayor being at 1% in the polls. And last night, he won with a significant vote. In my view, that journey from 1% to becoming mayor of the city of New York, taking on the oligarchs who spent a whole lot of money trying to defeat him, taking on the Republican establishment and Donald Trump, who endorsed Mr. Cuomo, taking on the Democratic establishment that never supported him, putting together a grassroots campaign that involved some 90,000 volunteers, people out knocking on doors, unprecedented in American history. It was an extraordinary campaign. He was a great candidate, but most importantly, it's not only his own personality and his intelligence and his hard work ethic, it is what he campaigned on. And Mamdani told the people of New York that we are living in a world in which the people on top have incredible wealth, have incredible power, while the majority of people are struggling to put food on the table, pay the rent, pay for childcare, pay for the basic necessities of life. So I really want to congratulate Zoran and his team for doing a great job. The message of last night is people all over this country are sick and tired of Trumpism. They're sick and tired of an administration that wants to destroy their health care.
Yeah, it's fine. It's
and
good.
my message to...
It's good. No, keep going if you want. We can wrap it up if you want.
Democrats and Republicans, stand up, be firm. Let's stand together and tell Trump we will not accept the destruction.
It's fine. I just want, there's two things I want. Okay, there's two things I want. One is I want, obviously, and I've said it before, I want the DSA to rally here, make the most of this moment, and assert itself as the spear of the anti-MAGA movement. Okay?
Yeah.
That's one thing I want. That might be a little optimistic because the DSA has some baggage and I'm not in power and I don't know exactly how to make that happen. I actually am working on one way, so hopefully it works out. Secondly, I want someone, and we can bring in Lumen here because I'm interested in here. Yeah, come on in. All right. See, the second thing, Lumen, that I want is I want someone to get out and call these MAGA motherfuckers white trash bullies. So, and I want the aggressive rhetoric. I want someone to be like, we're never going back. Like I want in New York City, I want people who are on Fox News, like Ingraham, who goes out to go out to the bar and have a drink with her, who's her boyfriend, that
Dinesh
Indian
D'Souza?
guy. Yeah, Dinesh D'Souza. Yeah, they're gonna get protested at the bar and told to leave. Like they cannot go to our kick-ass cities anymore.
Yeah,
they are off limits.
Go to Florida. You all said you were going to leave if he won.
Go to Florida.
I get that 100%. What you're saying is, but I would just be careful with the rhetoric because there's just no reason to. If you think that we are having a populist like actual movement and an actual uprising, Jeff is joining us too because Jimmy and Jeff are going to do our show. But no, so he's going to come in when he's ready. But
I'm gonna bounce after you get done with this.
Yeah, you're good. If you really think that, then it's not one of those things that like, oh, we're going to need everybody and all in together. It's like, no, those people are already there. And this goes into my like, and I know you guys are New York guys and you're like, look at me like I'm crazy, but this goes into my like bromance with Curtis Sliwa. Because if you were to see Curtis Sliwa talk his shit and he'd be like, oh, he's obviously on the socialist line. He's wearing a fucking beret for God's sake.
I know, right?
Right? So there's millions of guys like that we don't need to like attack them personally. I think the culture war shit will take care of itself once we elevate people's material conditions. It's just like people with full bellies don't go to war. People aren't going to be sitting here talking about Muslim, brown, black, trans, immigrant, they thems and how they need to be expelled from the country when they've got 2-car garage and a chicken in their pot, man. Like they're just not. It's going to be boring. They're going to be like, I don't give a shit. The game is on. That I think is like, I don't even think that's settling. I think that's a thing that like that's the world that I'm hoping that can be built is of people who might not agree with me, but the game's on and their lives are pretty good.
Yeah.
So why?
Yeah, I think in line with that, something I talk about that's in line with what you're saying is the resurrection of expertise and people admitting that they don't know shit about different subjects. And like the know-it-all factor is definitely on the left too. But I tell you what, man.
Oh man, it is the high time. It is the golden age for the stupids, buddy.
Yeah. I mean, Jeff and I we go round and round about this all the day. Like, I do not believe in electoral politics anymore, but I participate in it because it's the only game in town until the other game starts.
Yeah.
But it is what it is, and like, I don't want that game to start.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is what we're doing. We're doing electoral politics right now until we're doing something else. So we might as well do it because the election is going to happen in reality, the shared reality we all believe in.
Yeah.
And there's going to be one guy's going to be better than the other.
Until we get pulled out of the matrix, we got to play by the rules.
Yeah. That's it.
Thank you again, Deter, for having me on.
Yeah.
Nice to see you again, Jeff. Lumen,
always, brother, we got to hook up sometime soon.
Yeah, definitely. And I agree. White trash can be part of the movement. I made a video.
Be part of the movement. It's got to be.
It's got to be.
Like,
I made a recent video.
Yeah. People are called rednecks. Yeah, you call people rednecks because they're laborers. Because
you know what?
I think rednecks is loving. No, I think redneck is a term of endearment to a lot of them.
You know what?
I think white trash is not. White trash is not.
You know what? Redneck. The history of the term redneck comes from.
Yes, it's because they work outdoors and their neck gets super red from the sun.
Nope.
That's what I was told.
The labor man knows.
The West Virginia coal strikes. They wore red bandanas around their necks. And
you're right. You're right. Somebody told me this.
Saw several years ago when the teachers in West Virginia went on strike, they were all wearing those red bandanas in tradition. Of the coal
labor thing.
My cousin told
and we need to have working people. We need to have working people reclaim that shit because it's used derisively and it's perceived derisively. But there is pride in that.
We're all rednecks.
I think that's a great place for me to bounce out. So you guys have a lovely stream, and thanks for letting me join you for a few minutes here, Lumen. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Always welcome.
All right, and let's collab sometime, Jeff Lumen. I'll message you guys.
Yeah, man, totally. I'm always
all right. Sounds good.
When I'm not working.
All right. As always, Alex, good to see you, brother.
Take care.
Cool.
Yeah, I just wanted to shamelessly plug my
Please
D12 video. Big Eminem fan. Never actually got around to listening to D12's first album, so I did that and talked a little bit about the
Purple Pill song.
Yeah,
Dude,
that was the one song that I always had on my playlist, but I never actually
rock.
sat and listened to the whole album. So I went and did that. If you wanted to check that out, check it out, folks. Thank you guys so much for letting me plug and stick around for a second.